Welcome back to Beyond Poksha. Tonight we journey into the heart of rural Kentucky, to a time and place where the ordinary was shattered by the extraordinary. Our story takes us to the summer of 1955, to a small, unassuming farmhouse on the outskirts of Kelly, a quiet community surrounded by rolling fields and dense woods. It was here on a humid August night that a family's peaceful existence was forever changed by an encounter that would become one of the most chilling and hotly debated cases in the annals of the unexplained. Imagine the scene. A family gathered together after a long day, the air thick with the sounds of crickets and the distant calls of night birds. The Sutton family, along with a few friends, were enjoying a quiet evening when suddenly something streaked across the sky. Something that would draw them into a night of terror. At first it was just a flash of light, a strange object descending into a nearby field, but what followed was beyond anything they could have imagined. The family soon found themselves under siege by mysterious, otherworldly visitors, small, glowing-eyed beings that seemed to defy explanation. What happened next would become known as the Kelly incident, a night marked by fear, gunfire, and a desperate struggle to protect loved ones from the unknown. The Suttons described creatures unlike anything they had ever seen, short with spindly arms, oversized heads, and eyes that glowed in the darkness. As the family barricaded themselves inside, the beings approached the house, peering through windows and moving with uncanny agility. In a panic, the men of the house grabbed their shotguns and fired at the intruders, but the creatures seemed impervious, floating or darting away with each blast. For hours, the family endured a relentless siege, their nerves fraying as the night wore on. When dawn finally broke, the beings vanished as mysteriously as they had appeared, leaving behind only bullet holes, shattered nerves, and a story that would echo through the decades. Was it a hoax, a case of mass hysteria, or a genuine encounter with visitors from another world? Tonight we'll unravel the details, sift through the evidence, and explore the legacy of one of the most terrifying true encounters ever reported. This is the story of fear, gunfire, and mysterious beings from the sky. The Kelly incident. The date was August 21st, 1955. The world was a different place then. Elvis Presley was just beginning to make waves on the radio, and the Cold War loomed in the background of American life. But in the small rural community of Kelly, Kentucky, life moved at a slower, quieter pace. The days were long and hot, the nights cool and still, and the people who lived here were used to the rhythms of the land. On this particular evening, the sun had just dipped below the horizon, leaving behind a sky painted in deep purples and blues, the last golden rays fading over the rolling fields. The air was thick with the scent of cut grass and wildflowers, and the only sounds were the distant chirping of crickets and the occasional bark of a farm dog. At the edge of this quiet world stood a modest farmhouse, its white paint weathered by years of sun and rain. The house was surrounded by acres of farmland, bordered by a line of dark trees that seemed to stand guard against the night. The windows glowed softly with the warm light of oil lamps, casting long shadows across the porch. It was the kind of home that had seen generations come and go, a place where stories were told and memories made. Tonight, it was a sanctuary from the darkness outside, a beacon of comfort and familiarity in the vast Kentucky countryside. Inside, the Sutton family and their guests, 11 people in all, were gathered together for a rare evening of rest and companionship. The adults sat in worn armchairs and on the old sofa, talking quietly about the day's work and the latest news from town. Children played on the floor with battered toys, their laughter echoing softly through the house. The kitchen smelled of cornbread and beans, and the table was still cluttered with the remains of supper. For a moment, everything felt safe and ordinary, as if nothing could disturb the peace of this Kentucky night. The family had no way of knowing that their lives were about to change forever. Outside, the night deepened and a strange stillness settled over the fields. The crickets fell silent, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught the eye of one of the children, a shadow passing by the window, too quick and too silent to be a person. Moments later, an eerie, unearthly light illuminated the farmhouse, casting unnatural shapes across the walls and sending a chill through everyone inside. The family exchanged uneasy glances, their earlier laughter replaced by a growing sense of dread. They could not have imagined that before the night was over, they would become the center of one of the most mysterious and terrifying encounters in American history. In the quiet heart of Kentucky, on a night that began like any other, the Sutton family was about to face the unknown. Around 11 p.m., they saw strange lights above the trees, then movement in the dark, figures approaching the house. Glowing eyes, short bodies with long arms, metallic skin that shimmered under the moonlight, creatures unlike anything human surrounding the farmhouse. Terrified, the men grabbed rifles and opened fire. Bang, bang! But the bullets had no effect. The creatures fell only to rise again, walking closer. One being reached inside through a window, its clawed hands scraping the wood. Children screamed, women cried, and honestly, the nightmare grew darker. For hours, the family fought. Gunshots echoed. The being circled the house, peering through windows, climbing the roof, unstoppable. Imagine being trapped with no escape, every shadow hiding glowing eyes just waiting to strike. The family prayed the night would end. At dawn, there was just, this deep silence. The creatures had vanished. All that was left behind were broken windows and bullet holes. No blood, no bodies. Authorities searched everywhere. But honestly, they found nothing. No footprints, no evidence at all. Just a bunch of terrified witnesses, all telling the same unbelievable story. The Kelly incident, it became one of the most chilling UFO encounters ever recorded. A night of fear that to this day still remains unexplained. So, what do you think? After everything we've explored tonight, after all the chilling details and the strange, inexplicable events, I want you to take a moment and really consider what you believe. Do you think these stories are just the product of overactive imaginations? Or is there something more lurking in the darkness? Something that defies our understanding of the world? Were these creatures visitors from another world? Or could they be something else entirely? The idea of extraterrestrial visitors has fascinated humanity for generations. From ancient cave paintings to modern-day UFO sightings, people have always looked to the skies and wondered if we are truly alone. But what if the answer is more complicated than we ever imagined? What if these beings are not just travelers from distant planets, but entities that exist in the shadows between our reality and something far stranger, or maybe something even darker? Some believe that these encounters are not with visitors from another planet, but with entities that have always been here. Creatures that slip in and out of our world, hiding in the shadows, feeding on our fear and curiosity. The line between science fiction and reality blurs when you hear the first-hand accounts of those who have experienced the unexplainable. Their voices tremble, their eyes dart to the corners of the room, and you can sense the lingering terror in their words. This is Beyond Poksha, and I bring you real stories that, truly defy explanation. Every episode, we dive deep into the unknown, piecing together the fragments of eyewitness accounts, historical records, and physical evidence. We listen to the people who have lived through these encounters, their fear, their confusion, and sometimes their awe. These are not just stories to entertain or frighten you. They are reminders that the world is far stranger than we often admit, and that sometimes the truth is more unsettling than any fiction. Subscribe for more terrifying true encounters if you dare, because here we don't just tell stories, we invite you to question everything you think you know. We challenge you to look beyond the ordinary, to confront the mysteries that lurk just out of sight. Whether you're a skeptic, a believer, or someone who just loves a good mystery, there's a place for you here. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our community of truth seekers and night owls. Together we'll keep searching for answers in the darkness, and maybe, just maybe, we'll find the truth that lies beyond Poksha. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, the unknown is always closer than you think.